So, Pretty Ricky taking over for like a few minutes. Still my man Langston's channel.
Pretty Ricky TV.
He let me come in and be a guest. So, a lot of the times when you see his videos, he'll reference conversations he's had with me. And he brings it to you. So we thought, why not just let you see what a conversation between us is really like?
Yeah.
So, topic number one. Asian hate crimes. That's my first. I know you did a video on this, but I have another perspective for you.
I did a video on the old channel, but not the new one. So we'll put this.
Everybody will get to see this one.
Yeah.
So here's a perspective that I've seen a few people kind of approach it a little bit. So you have all this support. Stop Asian hate. Asian is like Black Lives Matter now, right? Mm-hmm. You don't see any contradictory all lives matter. You don't see that, right?
Yeah.
So when black people said, hey, we're tired of being killed by cops, we're tired of our children being killed by cops, we want you to respect us and treat us as equals, as human beings. We're not 3/4 of a man anymore, we're equals, right? Mm-hmm. They then turned and said, well, no, all lives matter, why are you special, right? But Asians, they're completely fine with, they're supporting them. CNN has had specials, Asian hate crimes, you know. So why do they get that kind of respect and love, but we don't? Let you jump in on that one.
I think it's because of kung fu movies. I mean, I don't know, but Chinese food, I don't.
Because of Godzilla?
Yeah, Godzilla, it may be a couple of things. I've never understood why Chinese people get, let alone, you know, from white people, but just get love from the black community. I never understood that, you know.
Good though.
You think so?
I still eat chicken.
I mean, the chicken, like when I was
I don't
eating,
know if it's chicken.
when I was eating Chinese food, I would never like the chicken because they would have hair all over it.
Yeah, they do.
You know, so I mean,
probably not chicken.
Exactly. You know,
that's just racist. I'm sorry, Asian people. That's
well, it's the truth. You know, you can't be racist.
Right, you feeding us cats.
Yeah, you know, that's what you're doing in the community. So I don't have no answer to that. I really don't. Besides that, there's always, you know, in the black community, we're always just stepped on, and it's cool for anyone and everyone to step on us.
Hurry up and buy.
Yeah,
right.
You know, exactly.
Come into my hood. Let me get that. Come into my hood. Open your Chinese restaurant. Open your beauty supply. Open your nails. Open your pedicure place. Hurry up and buy. Treat me with disrespect. Talk about me in your Mandarin language that I don't understand. Then you go live somewhere else. You don't contribute to the community at all.
And send their children off to college.
We send your children to colleges that our kids will never go to, right? And then we're supporting your movement. Even though I don't recall seeing any Asians. I know that that's a very general statement to say. Of course there were Asians supporting Black Lives Matter. Not that I support Black Lives Matter. But now they have their movement. I hope you don't. Alright, let me. Well, you
I do because last time I checked, the founder, matter of fact, somebody checked me on it. She bought four houses
in like real exclusive.
Yeah. So listen, I need a job. If y'all listen, if
Pretty Ricky is your guy.
Well, first you said you didn't want to deal with him. I mean, you got to make up your mind. Either you're gonna be on the.
She's buying houses on islands.
Yeah, but you said you didn't want to be a part of it in the beginning.
No, she's buying houses on islands. I could do it for a little bit to buy a house.
Okay, so if anybody's watching that's in the Black Lives Movement, both of us need a job.
We're down. But like seriously though, have you noticed there isn't any movements like for example, if you go outside on my balcony right now, it may be there. There's a Ford Fusion. Kid's from Georgia. He's got Georgia tags. He has ALM on his bumper. Now I would see that like all the time, and I would, what the hell is ALM?
Asian Lives Matter.
No, this was before. It's All Lives Matter.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But he's black.
Yeah.
They convinced you. They took away your movement
And made it theirs.
and made it theirs and turned it into something else. And you're supporting that. Why? If you go out there right now, you'll see his. We should take a picture and put his license plate and blow him up. Like, that's how they infiltrated that whole movement. Again, I don't support Black Lives Matter because that's a corporation. I support its original intent, but I don't support the corporation itself, right? But the Asian people, there's no opposition. They're on every channel. We should support them. We should back them. There's even a whole, let's get Asian people guns. That's a whole thing. Asian people never cared about 2A.
Matter of fact, I seen let me see.
Coleon.
Yeah. Coleon, he did a special on.
Asians care about 2A.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Here you go.
So
I don't want to spend too much time on.
Asian black.
No, you can finish your point, but I don't want to spend too much time on Asians because they don't spend too much time on us.
No.
What do they say? Hurry up and buy. That plain and simple.
But not spending any time on them. The moral of the story is, black people, you guys are Rapunzel. You sleep at the wheel. You're missing all these things. You don't pay attention to anything. You're so wrapped up in the distractions that they offer to you, right? They offered you Twitter. They offered you Instagram. They gave you these mumble rappers with no substance. Not hating. It's a true fact, right?
That's leading to the next.
What's the kid's name with the devil and stuff?
Lil Nas X.
That is intentional. He's not even religious. He doesn't even believe in God or the devil. But they gave you that, right? Keep you distracted so you miss the bigger picture. Like, wake up. Wake up. It's not that hard. I hate this expression, but being woke is in your best interest. It really is.
I mean, I agree, but then I always say this. We do need some people to be asleep. Because people need to. I don't like. Yeah, I don't want to empty my trash. Well, at least put it in the big dumpster and then I'll leave it for the garbage man. I need someone if I go to a fancy restaurant. I need a waiter or waitress. I need a bartender. Drop the car off. I need a plumber. I need an electrician. I need all of the things that I don't want to do. I need someone to do that for me. Exactly, car wash. All of the little things that I'm not gonna say little things in the aspect of like it's nothing. I think we all play a part in this big thing we call life. So everybody plays their position. I just think that overall, others look down on other people, and that's where you get your classism. But for the most part, I truly believe that we need everyone. But I guess what you wanna.
Next topic. Hip hop. I don't have much to say about hip hop. Like, DMX died. That's horrific. Then you have all this other stuff. Black Rob died, dude. Like, Black Rob. Like, whoa. He's not even much older than we are. Like, that's sad, man. And it sounds like he died from like kidney failure and issues with his liver. So all that hard living, all those drugs you kids like to do, the end result is not anything you're gonna like. It's destroying your body. And then the drugs we did was way different than the drugs y'all do, right? We smoked actual weed. Someone grew it in grass, like dirt. You guys smoked some stuff, I don't know. I was driving, true story. This happened today. Went to Walmart. Don't know why, but I keep going because it's cheap, right? And there was a chick. She pulled up beside me in a blue Nissan Altima, right? Old one. And I'm just chilling, listening to some music, and all of a sudden, I feel loud tickling my nose hairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to roll my window up because what she was smoking in her car with her windows up was getting into my car.
Now I want to say, I do want to say one thing about people smoking marijuana now, because I'm not gonna lie, I actually, a dude recommended that I try the CBD sticks.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that it smells just like marijuana.
Yeah.
It's no different, but it doesn't get you high. It gives you, and see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I smoked and I'm like, well, it smelled like weed and it kind of tastes somewhat like weed, you know.
That's like chewing Nicorette.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, so there are people. I used to think that there are people driving around stupid, you know, like they think, yeah, smoking real marijuana, but the CBD sticks, they smell and they look just like they look just like a blunt, and they smell just like a.
That might be a true thing. That bro.
But she was, I got you.
She was absolutely smoking. But anyway, hip hop wise, the issue that I have, and I'm not hating, there's plenty of young artists that I listen to. 22 G's, the whole Suburban 2, and he's not gonna make Suburbans anymore. Like, I don't like what's happening in the streets over the hip hop stuff, but the music is dope, right? I love when they collab with the London, the UK drill, and I love that stuff. However, you guys are losing the concept of what hip hop was meant to be. It's supposed to be an expression for you people with the talent to speak on his and my behalf, right? You're supposed to go out there and tell the stories we don't have a platform to tell. Well, he has a platform. I don't got a platform. But that's what the purpose of it was for. All this beef, and this one's got beef with that one, and people getting killed at 21, 22. It takes away, it makes people who are older, like myself, I consider myself to still be a hip hop head, it makes us not like your music, because then now your music is blurring the line with your real life, and you're telling me about these horrific crimes you commit. I don't want to hear about that. I just want to hear you express yourself over a good beat with a good engineer, so I can play it in my car real loud. This stuff you guys doing with, you know, I got beef with this one, and O Block has beef with that one, and we don't feel you.
So my opinion is, I kind of agree with what Pretty Ricky is saying, and then I kind of disagree. I think, and it took me, we disagree a lot.
No, this happens all the time.
Yeah, we disagree a lot. I disagree. Well, I agree, you know, far as what the music is doing, you know, to the youth, and I'm not a fan of it. But if you're not, you know, funding your project, and you have the so-called machine that's behind you, or rather white people that's behind you, then they're going to direct that narrative on what you say and how you say it.
Of course.
You know, so I agree with him 100% far as like the whole self-destruction thing, you know. But on the other end, we were young once. I remember playing my mother, Craig Mack, you know, and she was like, what the hell is that? You know, so I think every generation has their own music, and had my grandmother went to her mother and said, I got James Brown, she would be like, that's devil music.
That's not music.
Yeah, that's devil music. So I think that at the end of the day, it's hard to say, you know what I'm saying, but it's the truth. As far as dealing with me, I'm not going to talk about Pretty Ricky. I'm just saying in my mind, at the end of the day, I just had to accept that this music is not for us. It's just not. It wasn't meant for us. It's meant for this generation. And in this generation, we're not going to understand at all anything. You know, just like our parents didn't understand us. You know, whether it was whether we would listen to Busta Rhymes, Outkast, Jay-Z, and the list goes on. So what I do is I just hope for the best. I hope that, well, two things I do. The first thing, I hope for the best, and the second thing is, instead of being silent about how I feel about hip hop, instead of being the problem, I want to be the solution. So I definitely want to tell the youth, you know, guide the youth instead of like dictating stuff to them. But I was that way, you know. I was that bah humbug, you know,
get off my lawn,
get off my lawn type of dude in the very beginning. And now I'm starting to ease up, and I am listening to a lot of music these days.
I like the New York drill stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the shit. I thought King Von was dope. Like, dope. Like, that album that came out, incredible album. However, you know, he made mistakes, right? He made a huge mistake.
Did he really make a mistake though?
So
let me just say this.
Yeah.
Did he really make a mistake? Like, I don't think he came into, and I'm not, this is not what I think you're saying. I'm just saying, I don't think that once he got out of that car, I don't think his plans were for that day to get killed. I think his plans were, I'm gonna whoop this dude's ass, and I'm gonna get back in the car. I'm gonna handle my business. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I will say this. But that's a young thing. You don't have conscience. You don't think about what you're doing until after the situation. Like, I watched 48 Hours before I got here, and the dude was crying and was like, "Yo, I wish I never did A, B, and C, but you shouldn't have done it. It's too late." You know, so that's all I wanted to say about that situation.
That's a take, no doubt. But in the case of King Von, I don't believe most people, most of the time, most murders are first-degree murders, in my opinion, right? First-degree murder means, I take that back. Most murders are second-degree murder. I apologize. That was dumb law stuff. First-degree murder being premeditated. I don't think most of the stuff that happens in the street is premeditated stuff. Mm-hmm. There is an aspect of that where we got to take this dude out because this is our block, or this is the competition, or what do they say, the kids now, they're calling each other ops. Yeah, right, okay. So I believe most of the street stuff is second degree murder. What happened to King Von is 100% second degree murder, right? The thing is, and this might make me not liked by younger people, King Von had quite the reputation. From what I understand, King Von is responsible for no less than 8 murders. He was involved in at least 8 murders, is the word in the streets. So how I look at that, if you are out there to that degree, where you've already committed your first murder and you've established that taste for blood and you're cool with it, right? You can murder people now. That does not bother you. That doesn't affect you, right? Then hopping out of a car because you're tall and bigger than the op, who's a little dude. I believe Quando Rondo is like a 5'4" dude, right? So, and you got this reputation that precedes you. However, your whole team left their guns in the car. That's what the uncle said. And I know this is shunned upon, but in a Vlad TV interview, that's what he said. He said, we left our guns in the car, and someone came and told Von. That's why there's a dude that's a fellow YouTuber that says something that doesn't say a lot that I agree with, but he does have a little catchphrase that I love.
You can say his name.
Hassan Campbell. He says, be careful of your circle before they hurt you, or something of that nature, right?
And then after that he said, turn Turn off the TV.
Turn off the TV. Noodles in the street. Curtains closed. And then he does this little sassy thing.
He said sassy.
He's just whatever, man. Anyway, respect to, I don't have no issue.
Yeah, we got
no issue.
much love.
He knows he does a little sassy thing. I'm sure he's seen his own videos.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I already had 2 of these. You know I'm gonna start laughing. King Von got out, assumed he was a predator. He turned out to be prey. You get out with no guns and you assume that man was a victim. Well, little Timmy has something else to say about that.
Little Timmy was, what? What's that say on your shirt?
Pew pew life.
It's about that pew pew.
And then no one could be mad at little Timmy because he did. That's Quando Rondo made it, not little Timmy. Little Timmy is day one, right? His job, his sole purpose in life as a street dude. And I've been a street dude. I know I don't look like it, but I've been a street dude. His sole purpose in life is to protect Quando Rondo. That's all he's supposed to do. He see these guys attacking his best friend, his brother, his day one, who's taking him with him, right? Because a lot of dudes get on, they don't take nobody with them. But he's taking him with them, right? They're attacking him. There's a bunch of them. He don't know what's going on. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. And I don't want to bite my man's line, but he turned his TV off. That's a mistake, in my opinion. He underestimated his op.
So I'm gonna say something that's going to piss off a few people as well. So like they say that what's the other dude name? XXXTentacion was like Tentacion was you all's version of Tupac. You know, that's what they say. You know,
I agree with that.
But I think like him, I think it's a combination of rappers that make up in this day and time that make up Tupac. Like it's just not one specific
even
rapper.
Tupac wasn't one person.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like he has so many different personalities. So I think King Von was part of Tupac. You know, the thug life portion of it. So it's crazy that their deaths are somewhat similar. Somewhat similar, right? So Tupac didn't have to stomp the dude out, right? At the fight.
Tupac signed his own death.
Exactly. He didn't have to stomp the dude out. King Von didn't have to get out of the car and stomp Quando Rondo out.
In his town.
In his town, right?
Right.
So what happens? They're saying that the dude that got jumped was, a Crip. And that he's the one that killed Tupac.
Orlando Anderson?
Yeah, Orlando Anderson.
That's like common knowledge. Like,
yeah. So
you step to a real thug. That's what.
So what happens is Tupac got killed. Same thing with King Von. Yeah, true indeed. He went to his old block, his projects, and gave out gold chains and money to his people. But if you ask, let's say, how many? You said 8. He got 8 bodies, right? If you ask,
word on the street.
That's word on the street, right? If you ask each family member, well, their families, to each person that King Von allegedly killed, they would have everything but something good to say about him. So this guy wasn't a good guy,
right?
And it wasn't like he was giving out Girl Scout cookies or some shit like that. So the thing of it is with me is you went out there, you slept on him, and I'm not gonna say
he died in you were engaged in an assault.
And you're right. I mean, you're right. I'm not gonna sit back and say that I'm glad that he died, but I do want to say this. I've been jumped before. I've been pistol whipped. It's a couple things that has happened to me. And if I had a little Timmy, or if I had my guns that I have for firearms that I have on me now, I would have did the same goddamn thing. You can't cry wolf over this situation. It is what it is. If this dude is from the streets, like he say he is, then he had to accept that shit. That plain and simple. And I'm gonna say this last thing and I'm done. I saw the autopsy picture. I wish I never seen it.
I'll look at stuff like that.
I wish I never seen it. I didn't think it was real, and I looked at it and it was.
Be careful. Yeah, I don't look at shit like that.
You want to move to something else, or do you want?
Yeah, we're good with the hip hop thing. Just make good music. You can talk about whatever you want, but yo, you made it. You don't gotta live it still. Like there was plenty of rappers from our era who made it, who still talked about the streets. We were fine with that. We know they lived in New Jersey in nice houses. It's cool.
Can I?
Yeah, jump in.
Okay, so I want to talk about. So I have a hard time listening to West Side Guns, Conway the Machine, and Benny the Butcher. Talented, crazy ass fucking songs that they push out.
They do.
I mean, amazing songs. But it's gotten to the point where, the reason why I brought it up is because Pretty Ricky has said it. You've gotten to the point where you're living in Beverly Hills,
right,
you staying in Buckhead, you living in these places, that it's nothing is going on. If there's any breaking and entering, it's like a raccoon going into your trash can or something like that. You're living a good life. So at the end of the day, why are you not okay, you took us through this story of you being in the streets. Right. Now it's your just due to take us to the next level and talk about things that you're experiencing now, so we can live what you're saying. The music.
I know people.
Go ahead.
I know people hate on Drake, but think about that, right? He gave us his perspective as a kid growing up in Toronto with a middle class lifestyle with his mom.
And we hate him for that.
Right, we hate him for that because that's not the lifestyles we had, right? And then he gives us the perspective of a guy who made it and maybe made it too soon in life. He wasn't ready, he wasn't mature enough, right? And we hate him for that. And then he gives us the perspective now of a guy who's been the guy for a long time, and he still can't figure out, why am I not satisfied? So he's doing exactly what you're saying. You're giving us the perspective of each phase of his life, and we hate him, but we'll celebrate a rapper who we know for a fact they're on the gram in their Rolls Royce, in their Ferraris, or Raris, I guess I'm not supposed to say it the correct way. They're shopping in Rodeo Drive, and it's talking about, so number one, the dude with the Bell's palsy is the dopest one.
Yeah.
Right? But if you listen to Conway the Machine, you would swear he came to the booth right before shooting 17 people. When the reality is, he came here from his nice house in the suburbs with his family, and he probably has a nanny. Well, what one man say, Eminem, and Claire's parents has a real good marriage, right? Like, that's the life you're really leading.
And hold on, let me add on to it. It is no disrespect towards him whatsoever. And he's probably going to see certain surgeons to help fix his face back because he has the money for it.
He can't.
Oh, he can't. Okay.
That's a brand.
You're right. That's like Busta Rhymes cutting off his hair,
it's like James Harden cutting off his mohawk.
Yeah, I got you. So it's part of him now. Yeah, you gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? That's just like Fat Joe and Rick Ross.
We don't like Fat Joe. Yeah. We don't like skinny.
We don't like skinny Fat Joe and skinny Rick Ross.
We don't like skinny.
But see that? You see the type of you was just building on that with Drake. So look at that. We want the out of shape,
we want fat,
unhealthy Rick Ross,
who's taking the time to get in shape, save his own life. Mm-hmm. Nah, we don't like that.
We want Lil Wayne to keep on taking Percocets, whatever that shit.
Even though you can see he's
slowly but surely down.
Yeah. Forest, right? He looks exactly like that roach from Men in Black. Yeah. Remember those roaches?
Now, you know who looks like them too? Spot Ghana.
What is it with you with Spot Ghana? Alright, so real. So I saw that album cover or whatever that was.
When he's like this?
Yeah. Yo, listen. I will legit. I will show you my search history. I will look at that image for hours trying to figure out why is he doing that. Why are you doing that? What is wrong? Do you have an issue? It's a profound picture. I guess that was the point, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, hip hop is definitely not dead. There are definitely, I legit love New York drill just because I'm from New York. Obviously, I gotta support it, but some of it's actually dope. I don't like all the gang stuff. All this gang stuff, and I don't want to get myself killed, talking bad about gangs. But we didn't have that. We had, what do we have? You tell them what, prove your officialness from New York City. What did we have when we were young in New York? As far as gangs go, we most definitely did not have blood friends.
I'll say this from what little knowledge that I have, because of course I'm a hybrid. So New York and North Carolina. So for what all I know is Deceps. And then
Autobots.
Yeah, and then around the mid '90s, I started to see trinkles of Bloods and Crips.
They started Kings.
Yeah, they started trickling, but it wasn't
coming home.
Yeah, it wasn't like no gangs like that. And then I want to say this too. I want to speak on the behalf of the South too. There weren't no gangs in the South. It was just. I think if there was a gang, so to speak, it was the North against the South.
Right.
Like the Northerners was constantly shitting on the South, and the Southerners was like, we don't want you coming down here, son, and such with New York cats.
The Southerners were not kind to us coming down here.
But it was vice versa.
Nah, but listen. So the realest lyric in a song that makes me believe that this person actually lived the lifestyle that they say is Biggie. Biggie once said, and I packed up because we found out ends went for 20s down south. That is a fact. What we sold for $5 in New York, y'all smoked it for 20. That's a fact. Anyone that's my age that ever hustled, for a fact, you came down south, you got a Vaseline jar. This is terrible, I'm saying this. You got a Vaseline jar. You dig the hole in the middle. You put your crack in the hole so the dogs couldn't smell it on the Greyhound bus. You took your Greyhound bus to Richmond. You got somebody to pick you up. You sold.
How did you make it from Rich? I don't want to cut you off.
No.
How did you make Richmond bus terminal? If you made it from that point.
So you talking a long time ago before.
Man,
they weren't even like that back then, right? You get off the bus back then, you can get off the bus and get straight into a car. You didn't have to go through a terminal because your bags were under the bus.
Yeah.
Right? And the special bag was overhead, right? And your couple of grams that you bought raw were in the Vaseline.
Let me say this real quick.
Man, I'm giving them a lesson on how.
So we're not. Pretty Ricky is not here to teach you how to transport drugs from one state to the next. That's the first thing. And the second thing is I've never sold crack. The reason why I know about Richmond bus terminal is because that I had to go through it. They had dogs sniffing the bus and all of that stuff, and they took us out, and I had bootleg movies, so that's how I got in trouble. That's how I know about Richmond bus terminal. I always had, when I had to take the bus from Greensboro all the way up to New York and back, Richmond was the worst. I'll say going back, but not going back up. Not coming from Greensboro, going up.
New York.
Coming from New York to Richmond is horrible. But go ahead.
This is not a lesson on how to transport drugs. But anyway, so you had your crack in the Vaseline.
He said this is not how to teach you how to transport drugs. But anyway, when you get that drug.
So if you were lazy, then you just bought a couple of grams already cooked. it's still better than what they're selling down here, right? Sometimes I was lazy, right? So you got a couple of Vaseline jars. You find you a little, can I say hood rat? So you take your couple of grams, you take it to the hood rat's house, you recook it. And even though that's terrible to do to a crackhead, right? That makes it less powerful. To the crackhead in Virginia, it's the greatest thing ever, right? Because they can't get this, right? So this has already been stepped on as it is, but it's still more powerful than what they got. You cook it again, you make your 1 gram like the size of 2 or 3 grams. You start slicing off pieces that you would typically slice off $5 pieces. Those are $20 pieces. You sell that, and then the money you get, you put aside the re-up, and then the profit, you go buy firearms. You find someone with a driver's license in VA, and you go to a pawn shop and you buy 2 Glocks for $400 with 15-round mags, Glock 19s. Glock 19s in New York back then would go for like $1,100, especially with 15-round mags. So, I mean, I don't even know why I just gave them a lesson on how to be criminals.
Well, the reason why
I'm sorry, man.
Pretty Ricky apologized.
Don't be criminal.
The reason why you got on that topic is we were talking about the North hating the South.
Biggie.
Yeah, and Biggie.
Yeah.
So, I'm just gonna be truthful. You know, I think that, so the story that you told, you have to sell a drug somewhere. So Southerners will naturally be upset with a Northerner because you coming down on his territory.
Something better than they have.
Some better than they have, and you fail to mention this, you're also screwing
I'm boning the chicks for sure.
their chicks.
No doubt.
You coming down here with the New York accent, with the NY cap, you got all the latest gear,
Timbs.
with the Timbs, and you know in the 90s, man, New York ruled everything.
You from New York?
Yeah, you from New York, that's
that
easy.
accent.
It's easy, that's easy, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
You know, so that, and then of course, the Northerners didn't like the music, you know, the music sucked, according to New Yorkers, you know.
All we had from the South was Outkast.
Outkast, yeah. You know, but no, you had Outkast, you had what's those 3-6 Mafia?
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the people that were out.
from the
3-6
South.
Mafia and whatchamacallit it did with Jay-Z. Pimp C, UGK.
Yeah,
UGK.
they were doing.
Yeah. You know, but
Pimp C.
Pimp C, yeah. So it was a whole thing of like the North versus the South. Other than that, getting back to the whole gang thing, there was no gang and ops and all the rest of that stuff. If you had a problem with somebody, you solved it with that individual person. It wasn't about, you know, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna kill this person because that person knows this person. Well, it was like that somewhat, you know.
Sometimes.
But not
Like this stuff now.
yeah, not most of the time. But we're gonna wrap this up because this has been about 30. This is about 30-something minutes. I think we're gonna put this on either channel. But either way, you're gonna see us continue on the old channel, on the new one. We're gonna do a video on the old one, on the new one. I don't know which channel we're gonna put this one on, but just
At some point,
stay tuned.
I'll be slurring. This is number 3, I think. So at some point,
I might have a sip of what you got.
it's just that stuff from before.
I might have some.
Yeah.
I might have some of that stuff from before, just a little bit. But once I start, you know, I'm going to stop
I
it.
might fall right.
Yeah, you know, somebody got to maintain some type of order, you know.
That'd be you.
Yeah, but we'll you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do another video. So you wanna say peace or whatever you. All right, so
Yeah.
all right. So listen, we're gonna try to do this. We're gonna try to keep this up. We're gonna call it 2 grumpy old men, 2 old farts or something like that. You know, 2 old heads, cause you all like calling us old heads. And when we do these, you know, he's gonna have his perspective and I'm gonna have mine. And the great thing, yeah, exactly. The great thing about it is we agree, but most of the times we disagree, and that's the beautiful thing about it. You know,
actually got to see us agree more than we usually disagree about 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So this is like not usual. So most of the time you'll see us like ready to.
So how would you let me see. So how would you look at us? Like, am I the Malcolm and you the Martin, or you're the corporate and I'm the tree hugger? How would you?
I don't want to be the Martin, but that's but based on my profession, and yeah, I don't necessarily want to be the Martin, but based on what I do for a living, you know, my lifestyle that is not portrayed in YouTube videos, I'm probably the Martin. You're definitely the Malcolm. You're more standing by the window by any means necessary. I'm gonna get a fucking attorney. You know, so yeah, that's probably true.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up, and you're gonna either see us on the new channel again or on the old one. Other than that, my name is Langston2992. Won't you like, comment, subscribe, definitely share this video.